Okay, welcome back. Episode 4, Ring the Bell podcast. It's been a while. It's been a busy time for us, end of school, but we are back, ready to talk about the Phillies. And today, Caleb, I have the entire roster up in front of me, and I'm going to read off a name, and we're just going to say what we think about this player's season so far. And that's what we're going to do because it's June. We're past Memorial Day. It's time to start getting into it.
Kind of like a almost 60 game benchmark.
Exactly. Like this time last year,
Season was almost done.
it was done. We're through 60.
Well, we're
50.
no,
we're through 50. 28 and 30. Yeah, if we lose the next two, which we won't, but if we were to lose the next two, we'd beat the exact same record as last year, which is just disappointing. Okay, first player up on this list. You know what? We're going to start with the starters. We're going to go first player on this list, JT Realmuto. What are your thoughts on JT this year?
I thought he's had a very solid season. I think he's been about what we expected. That's like he's played about as well as thought he would, which is like very good. But
Yeah.
I mean, obviously he was injured, so he's missed time. Like that's the only thing. Like I'd say it's like a negative about his season, and he's had like minor slumps here and there, but he's also had a lot of good stretches. So I think he's had a very solid overall season.
Yeah, I'm with you for that Brewers and Braves like little 5-game win streak. He was great. He's been cold a little bit recently, but he's also coming off the injury.
He had his 100th career home run recently.
That was a wild home run. That ball was like above his head. He better have hit that ball or I would have lost my mind. But he did. So all good. Yeah, he's been good. I think he can be better. I think his whole team can be better, but JT has not been the reason we've lost. He is not an issue with this team. If he plays like this the whole year, we still should be a good team.
I think the thing with him, I think he hasn't hit his ceiling. Like he's not playing as well as he could, but no one on the Phillies is.
Yeah.
So I mean, and he's still playing very well. Like he's still the best catcher in baseball.
And to that point, no one on the Phillies has reached their potential, their ceiling. Alec Boehm is next up. This guy, he's good. I know he's good. We saw it last year. I'm not worried about him for the long term. Probably just a sophomore slump. But he's in a sophomore slump, and when he's struggling at the plate, it really shows because he is awful in the field. The other day against the Nationals, it wasn't an error, but it was a man on first, 1 out, ground ball to third. He threw to first, didn't get the out at second. Then they had a 2-out bloop single, and the run came in. So that was just one example of many bad defensive plays by Boehm.
He really just seems like he's like doesn't always know what he's doing out there, and it shows. Like and you think like long term, do you like look to move him to first? But like Reese is, I don't see Reese leaving in the near future.
Yeah, I
think he can't play anywhere else because Reese sucks at defense too.
Yeah, Reese isn't great on I mean, this might be a stretch, but we remember Reese in left field. That was a couple years ago. That was a crazy experiment. I would go as far to say that Reese is better in left field than Boehm is at first. Then Boehm is at third.
That's fair, but then what do you do with Kutch? Like I guess Kutch is older. Like
no, Kutch could be gone next year.
Yeah,
this could be Rhys Hoskins in left field is the long-term plan for 0 MLB teams. So that is not what I want to do. I do not want Rhys Hoskins in left. Maybe with the universal DH, we'll do something with
I could
DHs like Hoskins probably DHs.
Yeah, I would say Hoskins a DH, stick Bowman because the universal DH seems like it's somewhat likely heading into next season.
For now, though, Boehm, he is hitting the ball hard. He just really hits it at people every single time. It's at a defender, and
it's like it's to a point where like, is it something he's doing wrong? Because he can make good contact, absolutely, but I think he absolutely is in his head. Like there's definitely games where he gets in his head and he's going 0 for 4 from the start of the day. Like he's not.
Yeah, it's like it just seems like he hits it at people every time, and if that's on like a 10-game stretch, fine. We've played 58 games, and it happens every time he makes contact, just grounding it to sharp double plays. Like it's ridiculous. Okay, Next guy, kind of touched on him here, Rhys Hoskins. I've liked Rhys this year. He had a nice May, kept the team together when we had a lot of injuries. He's been he's been good Rhys this year, I'd like to say.
I agree. I'd say Rhys Hoskins hitting what, like 460 something, or not 260
Whoa.
something,
Yeah.
with like, like what, 12 home runs maybe? Is that what
Yeah.
he's at?
And a lot of extra base hits.
Exactly. He's getting doubles. He's obviously not fast, but he's hitting the ball in the gaps. Um, I don't have many complaints about Reese this year. I mean, he's really bad at defense, but we all know that. This is his best year in terms of batting average, ever so far at least. And he's not like, I don't know. I think he's definitely an above average hitter. And
Yeah.
that's
I'd say Hoskins right now is like a fringe top 10 first baseman in the MLB, around the 10th spot, which that's what he should be. He's not the best. He's no Freddie Freeman, but he's definitely a solid MLB corner infielder with, I mean, because of his hitting, not because of his fielding. I've liked
yeah.
him this year. He was hot early. He's getting hot now. Yeah,
Mhm.
like
I mean,
Reese.
he obviously offers nothing in defense,
Yep,
but so his
nothing defense, but he does offer something, I think, this year in leadership. I think he's been a good leader, especially when Bryce and JT were down. That Marlins series, especially when we took 2-4 down there. Should have been 3-4, but took 2-4. That was as good as a series win with all the injuries, and we never beat them. All right. Next guy, I think, might be the most interesting guy on the team so far this year because the numbers for me don't match up with my opinion of him, and that's Gene Segura. I'd like to hear your thoughts first on Gene this year.
He's been a really odd player because he's like, you'd think like, yeah, like what he's like, I don't know what he's batting now, but like a couple days ago he's batting like 320. Um and so I don't know, like it doesn't feel like he's been hitting like at least a one hit a game. Like I don't know. I mean, and obviously he's been injured too. And he's a solid defender, I think. I don't know. He's a weird player in that sense.
So
Like,
he had no errors in like the first 45 games of the year until down in Dunedin when it all fell apart for our team against Toronto, which is weird that Toronto was playing in Florida. But he was great defensively. He was like the only one who didn't like have an error, which is like crazy. And he's had like 4 or 5 since then. That ball the other day, you were at the game but didn't see it somehow. It went through his legs. It was ridiculous. An easy double play ball. Ranger Suarez, who we'll get to in a minute, has been great. Gets the double play ball, first batter against Juan Soto, and it just goes through Gene's legs. And it's like when he laid down against Boston and didn't get the ball, I feel like he's not really a team guy, but because he's hitting so well, I'm okay with it.
yeah, no, I agree with that like analysis. He's not he's not like a good team player, and he seems kind of like a disagreeable guy. But at the same time, he's kind of producing. Like he is producing, and he's not really a home run hitter, but he can get on base and he can knock in runs.
Yeah.
Um,
He's
and so you kind of take it.
when he's up, I feel comfortable when he's up. But like
Mhm.
he's just rubs me the wrong way. All right. Next up, we're gonna go through the starters first, and then I'll do the bench guys. And we'll do the bench guys quicker because they don't do as much. But skipping over somebody who we'll talk about later, Bryce Harper. He's great. I love Bryce Harper. Now, I would have said I hate Bryce Harper if he never went on the IL. He was so I mean, he had that 2 for 27 streak, had a huge at bat in the Boston game that just he didn't capitalize, and it was like, what's wrong with him? He didn't look right. Then we put him on the IL. He's back. Seems still a little off, but I think that's just timing.
Yeah.
Before the injury in St. Louis, which Genesis Cabrera is on my hate list forever for throwing at his face, which hurt his wrist. He was great. He is great. He's the heart and soul of our team. We're not going anywhere if he's bad. That's my opinion on it.
He's absolutely. I think you nailed it. He's an absolute like team leader. Uh, he's the face of he's the face of the Phillies. He's our guy, and so I mean he was killing it. Like you said before the injury, he was I don't know. He was like, I don't know, putting himself in the MVP conversation for the first part of the year. And then he's had his bad stretches, but I assume he'll rebound a little bit at least. And he seems to have found his swing a little bit in the last couple games. So
Yeah, had the RBI single,
right.
like insurance on the other day.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, his cold streak was because he was obviously hurt, and then we put him on the IL. Now he's back. He was batting 330, dropped all the way to 270. I expect him to finish the year around 300.
I think he was like a 290 hitter.
Yeah, right, 290, in that range. He's a good hitter. Hasn't hit many home runs this year, but he's drawing so many walks. I'm like okay with it. His on base percentage is stupid high. He sees the least balls in the strike zone of anyone in the league, which is like
Yeah.
crazy.
He's so feared, and it's so wild because you think it would be someone like, I don't know. Well, like obviously Mike Trout's been hurt, but like you'd think Mike Trout, you'd pitch around him a little bit. But like Bryce Harper is in the head of every pitcher in the MLB.
Yeah, they don't want to see him.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's because he can launch a rocket every single at bat.
to any part of the field.
Mhm.
Speaking of any part of the field for a left-hander, the next guy's Odubel Herrera, who had a nice opposite field 2-run single the other day in that 7-run fourth inning. He's been great. We had the worst center field production in the MLB. Since he's come up, we've had like the third best center field production in the MLB.
He's killing it. I mean, he started cold, and it's probably because he'd never really played professional baseball in the last 2 years. And he's been great since then. He's batting like 270 maybe now.
Yeah, and I think the leadoff spot is his to give away because get to
Mhm.
cut in a minute. It's just not that guy anymore.
Yeah, and I think no complaints with Odubel. He's been pretty great for us.
Yeah,
And just
just
a OPS plus.
timely hitting. He had that huge home run against Washington in Washington like 4 or 5 series ago. Had the big R. It's just timely hitting. That's
Yeah,
which we
he's
never seem to get.
he's 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 he has the OPS plus. He's an above average hitter according like he's 117 OPS plus. He's a good hitter. Like he's not bad in the field.
Yeah,
He can
he's
run
a
a little
solid
bit.
center fielder, and that's great.
Yep. I mean that we can't do much more. I mean, I don't know why we didn't look at him earlier in the year, but
I think the reason we didn't look at him earlier in the year is because at home he is an untimely hitter, and that's probably why he's the fourth guy to be called up. But but he's good on the Phils. That's what this this podcast is. I don't want to comment on his. Okay, now to a below average fielder, Andrew McCutchen. He's bad. He's not good.
yeah.
He's a good clubhouse guy. He has 10 home runs this year, which is second on the team. Which I mean, I know Bryce has been hurt and JT's been hurt, but 10 home runs, like he's heading for power.
He is. He is. I think he definitely had like the stretch where he had like 4 home runs in like 3 days or
Yeah,
something. But and so that's like kind of inflated it. But he's shown that he can hit the ball out of the park. And he can like even if he can't hit a single, he can still hit home runs.
which I hate launch angle. I think
Mhm.
he's changed his swing. It seems like he's swinging for power. Maybe that's
Right.
because he can't run to first on anything, so he needs to get the ball on the gap or over the fence. But he's now our 6 hitter, 7 hitter. If
He's
we
fine.
have a full lineup, he's fine there.
Yeah.
In the field, he's not good, but we don't have any other options.
Hmm.
So
I think we can like agree. He's definitely past his prime, and he's a below average hitter at this point, and he's definitely below average fielder. But he's kind of a mentor to the guys, I think.
yeah, and he's a veteran like that.
Mhm.
He's another guy. Him and Herrera have really been the only one. Hoskins a little bit timely hitting.
Yeah.
Like situational baseball. That's McCutchen veteran. I like him in the line.
He's definitely overpaid is
Yeah,
one thing.
he's overpaid.
He's getting like $17 million or something this year. But
Yeah,
no, he's a good player. And I don't mind having him on the team. Like, is he gonna be here in a year, 2 years? I hope not. But he's good for this year.
I'd be okay if we resigned him. on
Yeah.
nothing with the contract he has now. This is the last year of the contract.
Right.
Thank
Right.
God. Uh, we're not going to talk about Kingery, who got actually removed from the 40-man roster this morning or last night. We're paying
Yeah.
him so much. It's
Mm.
ridiculous. We signed him out of the minor leagues and whatever. So yeah, Kingery's contract hopefully done soon. I actually don't know anything about that, but I know Kutch.
I think Kingery has another like 3 years, 2 years.
So bad. Why did we pay him? But yeah, Kutch, get that contract off the books after the year. He's solid. I have nothing against him. He's been clutch.
Yeah.
I think the guy who we would put in left field because he seems to play every single position on the field. I'd like to see him catch one game. Brad Miller. He's always in the lineup at a different position. He's played, I think, every infield position. He hasn't played shortstop, center, or catcher, but he's played the 3 other infield positions, the 2 outfield positions this year.
Yeah, I mean, he can definitely like that. He's a great utility player, and he can hit home runs too. And I don't always see it coming, but he can hit the ball.
Yeah, I think he hit his 100th recently as well.
Yeah.
He's been in the league a while, veteran. He has a weird swing and he wears his socks really high. He has kind of like a softball swing where he kind of like starts running to first base when he hits. It's like weird. I like Brad Miller. He's a
He's
he's he's a championship bench player.
exactly.
That's
He's a
my
very
thought.
he shouldn't. I don't. He's been seeing a lot of like starting time just like all over the place because he's kind of the guy that fills in if someone needs to sit.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a very solid utility like kind of bench guy.
Yeah, he's look. We've had a lot of injuries this year. He's stepping up. He's hitting fine, solid.
Yeah.
Now, I think I skipped him earlier because I wanted to give him the last lineup spot because I think he has been my favorite player to watch, maybe ever watching baseball. Ranger Suarez is just like a joy to watch play. This guy is just, he was batting in the 300s, which like that won't sustain. He's
Yeah.
solid in the field. He's just like a great guy. He had his first home run in like
A couple
8
years.
years.
And it barely got out. You can tell that man has no power in his swing.
He has no power, but he's found a lot of gaps this year. He had the big RBI double down in Tampa Bay to take the lead in that game, which of course we lost because we can't win Florida. But yeah, I like him. He's another playoff caliber bench player.
Right. And I think I don't know what happens when Didi comes back because I assume Didi will resume that role unless he starts sucking. But Ronald is a great guy to fill in. And I don't know what like Nick Maton has kind of stunk recently. He had a
Yeah,
very
we
bad
optioned him yesterday.
what'd you say?
We sent him down yesterday, Mason.
Really? I didn't even
Yeah,
know that. Yeah, I mean he got some good MLB experience, so good for him. But like he's not an everyday player at this point, and he's not really even a bench player. He had a great run, but Ronald Torreyes seems like he's a very solid bench shortstop.
yeah,
And so I think like I don't know, he seems like a quiet, like cool guy.
yeah. I mean, like I'm looking at it right now. He's 5'8", 155.
Mhm.
Like that's so cool. Like
Yeah. Neil told me that he was his idol because he's like basically his size.
right, right. It's so fun. Like just Ronnie Torreyes making plays. Okay, next bench guy. This will be a quick one. Andrew Knapp. He can't hit. He's very good calling a game. He can't hit, which that's what backup catchers are. I'd say he's an above average backup. Fine.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he can situationally hit because he seems to always hit walk-offs and get big hits like that.
That is
But
true.
yeah, you
Yeah.
summed it up. He's not a good hitter.
The stat I love is he has a lower ERA than Real Muto. Like when he catches, the team
Yeah.
pitches better, which I think is just he's a very good game caller, but he cannot hit for the life of him.
You can chalk that up over 4 every time he's in the
Yeah,
game.
every time. He every when he bats lefty, if he pulls every single ball, He's never
Yeah.
hit the ball the other way. And it's like, it drives me nuts. Like, there's a ball way outside, and he just, like, can't tap it to third where there's never a defender.
Yeah.
Two more guys here before we get to the pitchers, which that'll be wow. Matt Joyce, he's bad. He's not
Yeah.
good. Again, he had a big home run in Tampa Bay. He was 0 for 28 before that. He's not good. He's bad.
No, he's just he's a bench player that probably shouldn't be on the team. Like
Yeah,
he's okay. Like I don't mind him being on the team, but like you can't rely on him to do anything.
the bench bats who should be pinch hitting right now, like it, I don't even know who it is.
I don't like any of the pinch hit. Like when someone comes in to pinch hit, it doesn't really go well.
Yeah, I, Joyce is fine, veteran. When Didi comes back,
Hmm.
Torres will be fine pinch hitting. I think Maton. I disagree with you. I think Maton's definitely a bench player. I think
Really?
Maton, Torres, and Brad Miller are the prototype, like what a bench player should be. I think we set him down, one, because he's cold, and two, he's not seeing at bats. He's still a young guy. We didn't expect him up this year. Get him at bats every day.
Yeah, no, I just meant I don't see him as a bench player like for this team this year. I feel like our infield is kind of crowded, and I feel like he's young. Like he can get at bats in like AAA or AA, and he'll be good there.
By the way, Matt Joyce, he's a couple months away from turning 37.
Yeah,
So
he's old. He's
yeah,
old.
now the last player who I left for last intentionally because he's done one thing in a Phillies uniform, his hometown team, and it was the worst play I've ever seen. Travis Jankowski. What was he thinking? I mean,
Running.
so I don't know if anyone. I mean, if you're here, you probably watch most of the games, but I think it was Friday night. We're down by one in the ninth. Reese Hoskins hits a double to right to lead off the inning, off the wall. Almost got out, but off the wall. Jankowski comes in to pinch run at second. There's a ball in the dirt, and he like starts going to third, and then he stops because Avila, the catcher, picked up the ball. And it's like, okay, just run back to second. Avila wasn't even going to throw to second, and Jankowski just stood there, juking and juking, going nowhere, and Avila just ran over from behind the plate to in between second and third, and just tagged him out. It was such a Phillies play.
It was really stupid, and it ended up. I mean, there's no guarantee we would have won, obviously, or tied, but it cost us the game
Yeah,
because we have no momentum. Because it's just that's like you're right. You said it. The Phillies, like that's just what they do.
I I mean, I've been around baseball for my whole life, which isn't that long, but I've watched a lot of baseball. I've never seen that ever. Like Avila didn't make a throw. Jankowski did not run to a base.
I
He,
think he got caught being indecisive, and that's like I don't know. I feel like if you're a pinch runner, you just gotta run.
and a
You really,
veteran. He's 30. He's been in the league for a while. Yeah, I wanted him sent down immediately.
yeah.
Now,
I mean,
now I feel like that might have been a bit premature. But
I don't think he'll get sent down because he's kind of a veteran, and there's no point of having him in the minors.
yeah, I mean, his hometown team, dude. Like, I feel bad for the guy. He got booed the next day when he came in, which was
Yeah,
actually a nice double switch by Girardi because anytime you can get cut out of left field,
yeah, I saw, but I don't know. I think he's okay. I mean, he's had like what like a few at bats and he's gotten a couple hits. He's
yeah,
decent. He's actually not a bad pinch hitter, but
yeah. Eh, he's eh,
yeah,
eh,
I don't trust him running anymore.
not. All right, we'll run through these pitchers quicker than the players. I mean, there's a lot of pitchers, and none do I have more to say about than Jose Alvarado. This guy has the best stuff in the world. The stat I loved, I probably said it on here before. There was one week where 4 out of the 7 days of the week he had the fastest pitch in the MLB, and every day it was a ball. He has the stuff, the velocity. It's never in the strike zone.
He can throw 102 miles an hour. It just might go into the net, and hopefully, it won't break the net this time.
Yeah, it's That was such a weird game on Sunday.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
umpire switch and the hit the pitcher yeah. Alvarado, when he comes in the game, it's like I don't trust him, but like out of everyone in this pen, I'm okay if he comes in a high leverage spot because he is capable of striking out the side.
100%. My thing is, I see that. I just don't trust him to actually strike out the side because it seems like most of his outs are strikeouts, but he he's so like inconsistent that you don't know whether he's gonna like hit three guys and then walk another, or if he's gonna strike out everyone on like four pitches each.
Right. So big addition in the offseason, Archie Bradley. Meh.
Bit disappointing.
Yeah,
I mean, he was injured for a while, so like I don't know what you expect out of him. Like maybe as the season goes on, like I could be proven wrong, but like I don't love it so far.
yeah.
I think it's okay. I mean, he was hyped up to kind of be like either like the setup guy that can you know bring us to Hector or even maybe the closer. Um,
He's
and
not.
he's like not like yeah like I don't know. I don't really trust him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean he's been injured. I don't know.
Connor Brogdon's been good.
He's been good, solid. I mean he had a scorching start to the year, and then he kind of
Fortunate start and came to a screeching halt. That San Francisco game I'll never forget. Up 4 in the eighth, gave up 6. I mean that 2 3-run homers I think in the same inning.
yeah
Oh, I.
yeah.
It's those games that are just. It just
I feel like yeah I feel like it's kind of the same deal with Sam Coonrod.
yeah.
I don't know where he is on your list of our
Next
roster.
up, it's like you just saw it.
Great, but no, he started out like being like, oh my god, I want him to like pitch every game. Because I was like, he also has some pretty nasty stuff. He throws hard, and he has like a good pitch mix. But he kind of, I don't know. I think he's a solid guy behind like Archie and Jose. Like he can kind of be that fourth guy maybe in the bullpen.
Yeah, I like Sam Coonrod. He's solid.
He's yeah. I mean,
He's not spectacular, but when he comes in, I'm comfortable.
yeah, exactly. I don't. Whenever he goes in the game, I don't feel like he's going to give up like 3 runs.
Yeah. Uh, Someone who actually, fun fact, let's see if you can guess this pitcher. He's had 20 appearances for the Phillies this season. In 4 of the 20, he's given up 3 runs. Who is he?
20 appearances.
In 4 of the 20, 20% of the time he gives up 3.
I would say it's David Hale, but has he pitched that much?
No, it's not David Hale. It's Brandon Kitzler.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. I
He,
kind of forgot it's on our team.
something about Kitzler. I hate him, but I like him. I like veteran pen guys.
I don't like him.
He just doesn't have the stuff. He's
He's
gotten out of some huge jams. Like he's stranded runners. But like when he pitches a clean inning, it's never a clean inning.
it's always high tension.
Yeah.
Like whenever he goes in, I feel like we might implode right there.
Yeah.
That's my thing with him. I have no faith that he'll get through an inning without giving up a run.
Yeah. All right. This one, I don't know much about him, except I've played with him in MLB The Show. Just got called up. Looks like he has the stuff. Christopher Sanchez.
Yeah, he had a decent inning the other day. He gave up a hit, I think, but he got his first strikeout too. And the announcers were all talking about how they're going to keep like 3 different balls for him.
Yeah.
But no, I mean he's there. I'm sure he'll be decent.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think he'll be sent down probably. Maybe he'll stay. Maybe he'll stay.
he could be like a JoJo Romero kind of placement.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
He's fine. Yeah. Nothing spectacular. He hasn't done anything yet.
Yeah.
2 more. I'm saving the best for last. So we're going to start out with Hector, the protector, the new father, Ramirez. He's been great. He has a 180 ERA. It's
Yeah.
really stressful when he pitches, but if
I
Hector
don't.
Ramirez closes with the 180 ERA,
I have nothing against Hector Neris being our closer right now because it kind of concerns me because he seems to give up a lot of hard contact, but he gets outs. So I mean, and his splitter's kind of nasty when he can throw well. Like
I mean, did that Pablo Sandoval 2-run home run in Atlanta completely change our season? Absolutely. But other than that, he's been pretty good. That and the Tapia walk off, he's been solid.
I mean, he's got 9 saves. Like he's
Yeah,
he's doing what he's supposed to. Like I mean, I pulled up his stats real quick, and he has he doesn't walk a ton of guys. He kind of gives up home runs, but he has a 208 ERA plus, which is like kind of amazing. And like it doesn't really account for the fact that he's gotten into a lot of bad situations, but he's not like he's our closer. Like
he,
and he
look,
closes a lot of games.
we've gone down every reliever except one, and the other one is definitely not a closer.
Yeah,
None of these other guys can close. Alvarado, Bradley, Brogdon, Coonrod, Kinsler, these guys aren't closers.
right.
There's one guy, the Ranger, the Lieutenant, now might be a general. Ranger Suarez is awesome. I love him so much. I think he might become a starter at one point because he was a starter for most of his career. I hope he's because the piggyback thing with Spencer Howard. We'll get to Spencer Howard in a minute. Suarez has saved us like a couple of
He's
games this year.
he's like a great when Spencer Howard, Vinny Velasquez, when they blow up and can't do anything, he comes in and he's kind of like the fix it man. That's how I see him.
Yeah, like he should have gotten out of that one unscathed with the Soto ground ball that went through Segura's legs, and then he cried
Yeah.
about it. And then the other, I think it was in Miami. He really only plays when Howard plays because he has to pitch 4 innings every
Right.
time. But I think we left the bases loaded with no outs or 1 out, and he got out of it with 1 run in, I believe, and that was like huge, and we won that game. So Ranger Suarez, that was the YouTube game. That was a weird game.
Oh yeah, I didn't even.
Reyes had to round out in the ninth. That was a strange, weird game. But Ranger Suarez, he's been great. I think that he might, if Howard keeps, we'll just get to Howard right now. We'll just if
Oh wait a second. Is this true? Wait,
what?
is Ranger Suarez's ERA still 0?
Yes, he's only allowed like
He's given up runs that weren't chalked on him, right?
yeah, but he's come in with the bases loaded, no outs, and gave up 1 run. Like that's a great job, for my opinion. And the other day, he should have got out of that inning. Segura had the ball go through his legs.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at his stats, and he's kind of incredible. It's limited appearances, kind of like 17.1 innings isn't much, but his FIP is great. His WHIP is only like .5, so he's doing a great job at his role.
Yeah, he's great. When he comes in the game, I get happy. I'm just happy. Yeah. Spencer Howard, I don't know what to think of him. Getting to the starting pitch.
He seems like he's unconfident. That's my thing. Like he seems like, and I know he's still young, but I feel like most guys aren't like this, like unsure of themselves. At least most guys that become successful.
He's just a little, I want to mute myself and say a curse word now, but I'm not going to. It's a family program. He's just soft. I don't know. Like,
I agree.
A couple of years ago in AAA, he threw a complete game. No hitter, I believe. In the ninth inning, he hit 96 miles an hour. His fastball dropped to 90 miles an hour in the third inning in Washington.
Yeah, I mean, do you think there's like an injury, like a lingering kind of thing, or like something we don't like? Is he like maybe the coaches? Is he like I don't know. I feel like maybe the coaches told him to slow it down, but it seems like
who he is. You know
What?
who he's going to end up being?
Who?
Markel Fultz. We're going to put him in the pen, and it's going to be weird, and then we're going to trade him, and then he's going to be like a solid fifth starter for like the Colorado Rockies in 3 years. Like Fultz is on the Magic.
Oh, there's no such thing as a solid starter for the Colorado Rockies.
Well, they haven't seen Spencer Howard yet because he just, I don't know. Philly fans are quick to hate on somebody, and he's earned it I want him to be good so bad. He has the stuff. You can see he has the stuff.
Mhm.
First couple innings, you can see it, and it just goes away.
He has a nice curve. He can throw the fastball, but he just seems like he lacks the mentality at this point.
It's such just BS. He's like, oh yeah, the one game he jogged down the first base on the ground out, so that tired him out for the next inning. Are you kidding me? You are a professional athlete, one who's had to jog down to first base many times. If you can't jog down to first base and then the next inning you lose 6 miles an hour on the fastball, that's a joke. And then he's like, oh, his pregame meal he changed, and that'll hopefully help him. You think the freaking banana with like peanut butter is gonna like change the world? He should be better. I can't get on him yet because if it weren't for Ranger Suarez, I'd be calling for his head.
I think that he's kind of running out of time to make an impression, like to be good this year. And I feel like he already kind of had a chance last year. He's young, but I'm not sure how many opportunities this guy's going to get before he's sent back to the minors for good or he's traded because he's not good enough right
I
now.
don't think he'll be sent back to the minors for good because one thing, like him and Ranger together, that's our fifth starter right now.
Yeah.
And whether it's Ranger starting the games or like Howard can give you 2 or 3 good innings,
Yeah, he can't. And he
and
can.
so can Ranger.
He
But
yeah, absolutely. He can. Spencer Howard can go 2, 3 innings clean, but then it's just after that it looks bad.
yeah, and like that's terrible considering he's our number one starting pitching prospect. But for right now, a team that needs to win, as we're 2 games under 500, June 8th, like
He's not only that; he's our number one prospect. He's like one of the top 40 prospects in the MLB.
that's awful. Okay, starting pitching, Vinny Velo, he's been good. Comparing him to Matt Moore, he had that one terrible start in Cincinnati, but that was last month. Phillies are a June team. Uh, he didn't pitch well in his one June start. Is
I
he's
don't have complaints about Vinny being a starting pitcher, like a 4 or 5. He's not bad.
yeah,
I don't like him out of the bullpen, so I think using him as a starter is your best bet because he can definitely give you 5 or 6 innings that are good.
yeah. I think he's gotten his velocity up the last couple starts, which I think hurts him. I think that he's better when he keeps the fastball a
93.
little bit lower, 93, 94 exactly, and can locate it, which I
Right.
think if I can see that and other people can see that, I'm sure they're making adjustments. Uh, yeah, he's a fine fourth or fifth starter, especially comparing him to Matt Moore, who I will I will take the fall on this take. I called Matt Moore Sandy Koufax after his first 3 innings in his first start when he was out dueling Jacob DeGrom. I called him Sandy Koufax. That was probably my worst take. All right, now to the three-headed monster. First one, Zach Eflin. He's been okay. Started off great, worse recently.
I feel like I haven't even heard of him pitching recently.
He
That's
has had 9 days off, or he
yeah.
will have had 9 days off by the time he gets to his next start, which will be the second game of this Brave series. So yeah, he hasn't pitched in a while. I think it's because we gave him the rest. The reason for the rest is he looked tired.
He is actually I like him as a pitcher. I don't I think he's a good third starter for us. Like and I think on a better team he would be a 4 or 5 and he'd be good there. But I don't mind him. And I just saw he actually has the lowest walks per nine in the entire MLB. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry. Yeah, in the entire MLB. So like he's good at preventing the base runners. And he kind of gives up home runs, but I think he's a good I think he's a good third option for the Phillies. And I mean I guess we'll get into the rest of the guys in a second here, but yeah.
but I think he's much better than you give him credit for. I just expect him to be better. I think he is a solid number 2 in the NBA.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's good. I think that him, Wheeler, and Nola are all top 10, I believe, in innings pitched this year, which is why we all gave them extra rest except Wheeler. But we gave Nola and Eflin and Wheeler an extra day of rest going into the Braves series, Eflin more so. But yeah, he's just seemed tired recently. He started out really good, and now he's pitching an insane number of innings.
Yeah.
He's pretty young,
And
26.
I think their fielding has kind of hurt him because he kind of gives up contact. And
This,
so I feel like, I mean, I can look at his FIP, fielding independent pitching, but I like these numbers. But he, which is like a 3.1 or something, which is like good.
yeah,
But I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I think at this point, like a pitcher that pitches to contact, like I wouldn't say he's quite a pitch to contact kind of guy like Arrieta was, but that kind of player doesn't do well because we suck at fielding.
yeah. I mean, I feel like this has been a pretty positive episode. I'm feeling positive. We're 3-1 in June. We have
Mhm.
the worst fielding in the majors, and it's not even like we're in minus 17 and like defensive run saved, and the second worst team's like -1, and the best team's like 30. Like everyone is from -1 to 30, and we're up minus 17. Like we're so bad at fielding. It's
Mhm.
all right. Now on to the really meh. Eh. Why isn't he good? Aaron Nola.
Mhm.
What's wrong with him? Why is he bad? He's not bad, but why is he?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what's going on with him because you kind of thought like going into this year, I was like hoping this would be his return to Cy Young form because he had a weird like 2019. Last year he was okay. He was good. He was good last year.
Yeah.
You kind of thought this is the year like he's going like he should be in his prime right now. Like he's past being a young player. I feel like he's kind of a guy that should be in his prime, and he's having an odd year. He started amazing. He started looking like he was gonna like be in that Cy Young race.
Yeah. Had
But
since that complete game and against
right,
Lewis, he's been bad.
but he's kind of just. I think he's pitching today, right? But like so we'll see what happens today. But he's kind of been since then.
Yeah. I'm not worried about him. I'm
Yeah,
not worried about him. He's been
not at all.
all right.
He's their guy, and I don't know. Will Wheeler be the ace? Maybe, but
Oh,
he's been
Wheeler,
amazing.
as we get to our last guy here. This is our longest episode. We've been going almost 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wheeler's our ace. He just is
He
like
definitely is this year. Like, and I feel like Nola's the kind of guy at the front of the rotation, but Wheeler's the best pitcher on the team right now.
100, and it's not a question. He's been
Uh-huh.
good. Absolutely, 100%.
He's I think he should get more Cy Young recognition because I feel like he's gotten unlucky. Like the runs he's like the last I don't know how many starts he's been either giving up no runs in 7 innings or the runs he's given up like he's been a bit unlucky.
Yeah, yeah,
Like I remember the start against the Rays where he gave up a few runs and it was just on like two mistake pitches. Like he got taken deep by Austin Meadows on like the one pitch he kind of missed, but he was pitching perfect
yeah,
other than that. Like
yeah. I agree. And the one he had the duel with Scherzer, which by the way, we won 2 of 3 against the Nationals, and the 2 wins were Spencer Howard and Benny Velasquez. I don't know how that's physically possible, but the loss we had, he pitched well. 2 runs, 7 innings, great,
yeah, and
fine.
Wheeler actually is leading the NL in innings pitched, so he's kind of been a workhorse for us.
Yeah, like I love him. I'm a Zach Wheeler fan.
And he's already hit 100 strikeouts this year. So
Yeah, he had 14 in a game. It was
yeah, which leads the MLB still, I think, right?
yeah, something like that.
It definitely did at the time. I'm not sure if it still does.
Yeah, yeah, it's such a strikeout league now. All right, so that'll do it for our player things, our player analysis. One thing I would like to thank COVID for taking David Hale and Chase Anderson from our roster for the time being. Thank you for doing God's work. Someone had to get them off the team. That's why we didn't talk about them. They are sick. I obviously don't actually hope they are sick, but I hope they don't pitch again for us because they're terrible. We should win 2 of 3 against Atlanta at home with our 3 best pitchers.
You think so? I mean, what's the order? What is it going to be? Nola, Eflin, Wheeler.
Yep, Nola Eflin Wheeler, and the Braves have Smiley,
Yeah, we should rip
Davidson,
on
and
Smiley.
Anderson. Like normally, I'd be scared of Ian Anderson.
Yeah,
He's going up against Zach Wheeler. I'm not scared.
I think we can win any given Zach Wheeler day,
Yeah,
and I think we should rip on Drew Smiley today.
we should kill Drew Smiley. I mean, fortunately, I will be at game 2 tonight, but I won't be able to watch.
Yeah, I'll be at the Thursday game, actually, the third game of the series, and one of the Yankees games this weekend.
You're going to the Yankees. Which Yankees
Yeah.
game are you going to this weekend?
Sunday, I think.
Hmm.
We actually got tickets for Saturday and Sunday just to see which day and sell the other. Seems like good profit, I think.
Sauce me the other one. Yeah, Caleb, it's been I haven't gone to a game with you in a while.
True, we went to
Jacob
two in the
Morris is
first like
taking
5 days.
Jacob Morris is taking my spot, but it's all good. Solid guy. And yeah, double date-ish.
No, we'll definitely. Oh wait, when are you going to? When are you going to your camp?
Like late June.
So we should all get to a game before then.
Yeah, the week Max is back. Okay, yeah. Also, are you going to Jacob's house on Thursday after the
Yeah,
game?
yeah.
All right. Well, this
Wait,
got
wait.
off
By the
topic.
way, wait. Am you recording?
Yeah, we're still recording. All this.
All right,
Anyone
yeah.
who watches this far, they
This
get to hear this.
Ring the Bell podcast. Thank you for listening.
Okay, I will stop recording and then we will continue our conversation. Recording.